Okay, let's see how this sounds. Alright, let's get into it. Here we are. This right here is a Imponte Phoenix. Alright. This will be a little thing where I go into details of the cars in GTA 5 online, and I guess in GTA 5 in general. Obviously, you could probably find a lot of this on the internet, but just wanted to do my own spin on it. And there's probably a few details that some people probably miss or just don't give that little breakdown, whereas I do that, or I try to do that. But two things unique about this car in particular, this very particular Phoenix, and I say that for a reason. So let's take a look. Now, usually when you get a Phoenix, usually it has a little ducktail or little lip spoiler on it. Usually it has that. But obviously in the new gen, this is a thing that actually can happen with the car where it doesn't come with one. That didn't happen on old gen. That was a little glitch you could do on old gen, but or sometimes maybe the cars would bug out, but that was very rare. This is only a new gen thing where the car can actually come like this, but that's not the point. The point is, what is unique about this particular Phoenix? Well, this one, when it comes in this color, this kind of copper brown, or this color scheme with the bronze pearlescent and the brown stripe, when you get this particular Phoenix, it comes with a unique detail. The wheels come in a different color. The stock wheels. You may not be able to tell just from looking at it like that, but you will see exactly what I'm talking about here in a bit. And also the quality of the video is probably a little bad, but hopefully this will be shown decently when I go to make this comparison. But this is not the only vehicle that has unique details like that. There's many cars in the game that have details like that, and this is one of the very few day one cars, or maybe not even very few, but this is one of the day one cars that had unique details that were not added later, they just came with it on release. Now, this has always been a thing. So if you ever find a Phoenix in this color scheme, you will have it in a kind of a gold or bronze stock wheel color. Now here's where I show the proof. Okay.
What's wrong with her now?
As I said before, when you get this car, usually it comes with a little spoiler and it looks like this. But then new gen came around and now they can come like this. Whereas before, you had to buy one of these spoilers and then do that number and then it would pop out like this. But now you could just buy, or you could find them like this now, or you could still do the glitch. You can still do the glitch, by the way. But we're not here for that. We're here for the wheels. Right there, look at the wheels. There's like a little, there's a color to them on the inner wheel, or inner spokes. Pay attention to that color. You see that? That color right there, that is not a color that you should see when you get a stock or just a regular example of a Phoenix. Whenever you get a Phoenix and then you go to switch wheels or swap wheels, it should never have this color of wheel. But because this particular Phoenix is, for some reason, this version of the Phoenix, it comes with stock wheels that are colored. See, look, stock wheels. So look, this is default. Look at the wheel real good. That's what you get on this version. It's slightly colored different. And that may not be too big, but it's a little detail to add. Or it's a little detail to know. And again, usually a stock car will not come with colored wheels when you swap the wheels, or when you change the wheels. This one does. Instead of it being alloy, it's like this cream or desert or whatever color. And it shouldn't be like that. But this brown Phoenix has that detail. And there's many cars like that. And the Phoenix also, every stock car, let me correct that. Every street car in the game, or at least 90 or 80% of the cars in the game that you can get off the street, a good has rare things to them, like colors or unique details on the cars themselves, or etc. But mostly the rare things on these cars is the colors. This one in particular is actually not a rare color. You can actually recreate this exact Phoenix besides the wheels. You cannot replicate the wheels unless you do some little workaround method to do that. But there is a Phoenix that you can get that has a rare color that you cannot buy. As with many of these cars that you see right here. Like this Dominator, I'm pretty sure this could be a rare color for the Dominator. Potentially. We're going to find that out ourselves right now. And there is a way to check if it's rare.
Here for the magic touch?
The secondary color is probably just the blue. Yep. Secondary color, you can replicate this. Primary color, on the other hand. Okay. That's a yellow or orange. Okay, orange does not match that. And yellow does not match. So, you can find a number of cars in the game that you can find off the street that has rare or unobtainable colors to them. Side note, why the hell does this kind of go hard though? The orange or yellow with white, that's kind of sick. Anyways, also the black. But there's many cars in the game where you can find colors that are unobtainable, rare, etc. So you can't buy that yellow or that orange. Does not match. Does not match. Nothing else matches. It's not gold either. And no texture can match it either. Even if you could find the right color, I mean, it's just not gonna match texture-wise either. So there's another example right there. And I could probably find another one if I really tried. So that's two things. And here's another one. Again, a lot of these are probably regurgitating some, you know what? This is way more interesting. This is way more interesting. Okay. What is interesting about the Cheval Surge? Probably nothing. Or probably nothing insanely crazy. It's a nice little electric car. I like the grille. Look at that right there. It lights up. And this is a day one car, a street car. That's pretty sick right there. But there's a very unique detail about this Surge. So, not only is it a obtainable and a car that you can save that's electric, but it has this unique detail where in some car shops you can actually drive, or you can move in the workshops with the Surge, as you're seeing right now. This is probably not just a Surge thing only, but this is a unique thing that you can do with the Surge. It is capable of moving in the while you're in the menu of fixing the car. Let's see if I can reverse. Can I reverse? No. Yeah, I can't reverse. But you can't do this with a good number of cars. This is probably a front-wheel drive thing, or this is a electric front-wheel drive method, which I think the Surge is one of the very few front-wheel drive electric cars in the game. So it's a little interesting car for that reason, and it's a nice little thing. It's not the fastest, but it's very nice for what it is. You can put all these little parts on it. Oh wait, did that? Okay, never mind. Put a little spoiler on it. And it has a nice glass roof, or it has a nice little, I forget what you call that, but some kind of roof to it. It's pretty cool. And again, it's electric. It has that pretty cool and funny detail where you can essentially drive in the LS Customs. It's not freely, obviously, but you can do it. Another thing is, what's this car called? Wait. What's this car called? I'm not looking at what it just told me. The Felon. This is probably the Felon GT, which is stupid in my opinion. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I probably understand it to an extent. I just don't understand why the Felon GT is the convertible, and the hardtop is just the standard car. I don't personally understand that. But we continue on. What do you know? Wow, we got ourselves a semi-rare variant, or a rare example. Rare, but we have ourselves quite the example to use. Let me just slap some ridiculous stuff on this, or we'll do. Okay, we'll do that. Okay. This car has a little detail about it too. You can find some of these that come with not one, but 2 coffee cups. Case, or as you see in this example, 2 coffee cups in the Felon. You can get this on the GT and the standard Felon. I don't like coffee cups in my cars, so I don't really care for that, but it is something to think about.
Help me!
Oh wow, we have 2 examples here. So both of these Phoenixes have a unique color to them. Now, I believe the primary of this red one is actually probably not unique, but that secondary, however, I believe is unobtainable, which is a tad bit useless because that's just the stripe. But it is a rare variant of the car there.
What hole did you crawl out of?
Hold on. What the heck is going on?
Whatever.
I've never seen that happen before. Anyways, the secondary color of this Phoenix, the red one, I don't think that red is obtainable. And this green, I think, is completely unobtainable, which is a very nice color. I like both, actually. But this one is actually better because this is a full, like, it's all, the whole color is one piece, or one, it matches, and it's unobtainable.
What miracle did you want me to perform?
So this color, you can't buy this.
That should do the trick.
And even if you can, yeah, look, you can't buy that. Let's see if there's anything close to it, though. That's not close. That's a little closer, but not enough. Nope. Nope. See? Unobtainable color. This whole thing. Even probably the pearlescent, which we will. Yep. This whole color on this green Phoenix, this whole color is unobtainable. And to prove the point about the other Phoenix, the brown Phoenix, or the copper, the other one had uniquely colored stock wheels and uniquely colored wheels that you can buy when you swap the wheel or swap the rims. But as you can see, nope, alloy. See that? The other ones had like a weird cream colored wheels or whatever. This is alloy, this is stock. See, look, okay. Nothing changed. That's stock. So the brown or the copper Phoenix, it has uniquely bronze or cream colored wheels. Stock. mind you, and unique colored wheels that you could apply when you swap them from the stock. But this is a rare color. There's many more like that. But I know some of you were probably thinking, okay, well, colors, maybe we already know that about the colors. But, come on, pull out the gun. Reload. There we go. Some of you are probably thinking, I don't really care about colors. What about some more unique details? I already showed the Surge. I already showed the wheels of the brown or copper Phoenix. If I have another example, I will show it. Which I probably should. A lot of these cars I have probably do. Here we go. Here's a good one. Baller STD. So, uniquely, of all the Ballers, you have the, probably what, the LE or some crazy stuff like that. But this one, uniquely, it's the only one that has STDs. Okay, I'm playing. No. This one has a unique thing, though. The Baller STD has AIDS. Okay. The Baller STD, it uniquely, I don't know if it could be categorized as a second version or a second variant, but it does have a second variant of trimming. Because if you look right there, the trim on mine is like this blacked out color, but if you have a pearlescent, you can see the color of the pearlescent shine through it, right? But this black strip, or kind of this black trim, that is uniquely, or not uniquely, but the black trim is on default bought STD Ballers. But there is a version that you could buy multiple times where the trim is completely unique. Now, I will come back to this at some point, but we're going to move on. But this has a unique thing to it. We will come back to this. This was probably one of the very few, or this was probably the start of when people would find ways to gain access to a vehicle earlier than its release. So you would see a lot of people have this way before it actually was released into the game. And I think this is the Cavalcade XL. Yeah. And this is unique as well. This is the, I can read the name, but I have too much pride. This is the Dubsta, but uniquely, this is the Dubsta, right? Or this is the second variant of the Dubsta. It's probably identical in most ways, or it probably is essentially essentially the same vehicle. The difference being is that everything on this, everything is stock. None of this is bought. The wheels are stock. The ram bar, stock. The side steps, which I think that may not be too insane. The spare wheel, the rear kind of ram bar, whatever. That's all stock. And uniquely, this one, the reason why mine looks the way it does is because I did not steal this. I bought this from Simeon's dealership. This was sold one time, the Dubsta 2, or the second variant of this vehicle. was sold at Simeon's, which is unique because GTA usually doesn't usually do that. Give rarish vehicles a easier obtainable, make them easier to obtain, but for some funny reason, they made this to where you could purchase this at Simeon's dealership. And I bought this. So I had to. I could have stolen mine and get gold or chrome, which would have been pretty cool. But it's way more insane the fact that Rockstar even lets you buy this. So I had to buy it. This is stock. There's 2 versions of the Dubsta, and this is the second one. The more rare version, mind you. Unless you're playing on new gen story mode or something. And then this is another unique one because the Serrano or Serrano, there you go, Benefactors Serrano, not the car, stupidly named, and I believe they're both benefactors. One's Sir, S-E-R, and the other one is Sorano or whatever, S-U-R. Anyways, this is unique because this was one of the very few SUVs that in release you could put a spoiler on it. There was not, I don't think there was one SUV on release where you could put a spoiler on it. This was it. And even if this may not be an SUV, it's still a 4-door big vehicle that essentially is an SUV of its own. Whatever. But it was one of the few vehicles of its type to have a spoiler option. So that's a fact. And uniquely, this one, the Baller ST, this one uniquely doesn't have STDs. Okay, I'm done. No, anyways. I believe this came with a unique livery or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think you could buy it at one point or whatever. But I think it was the Christmas livery or wrap or whatever. But I think a lot of people probably already know that one. But, oh, fun fact about the Baller. There's 10 million of them in GTA 5 alone. Like, there's the Baller, there's the Baller ST, the Baller STD, the Baller LE, what, some other crazy shit. We could actually look at that right now. I'm joking about some of these. I'm just being a smartass, but I'm not joking about the Baller thing. Yeah, here we go. The Baller LE LWB, and then the Baller LE, and then there's also the armored version of both. But anyways, okay, we're gonna go back to this now. The Baller ST D. This one is the default, or the one that you could just purchase and buy off this website. Like, if you were to just, right now, oh, okay, you know, let me just get me a Baller STD. Boom. It comes with the trimming. But there's probably a few of you that don't know there actually is another variant, or there's an unobtainable trim that you could get if you bought it at one of the dealerships. Or kind of like the little, you know, whatever. I need to get rid of that. Okay. Baller STD. Oh, did you know the Baller STD has STD? Oh, okay.
You're through to your garage.
Oh,
you
where is it?
need me to...
Baller STD. Where are you? Are you here? No. Okay.
It's coming at you. I'll get back to it then.
This is the unobtainable trimming that you can get with the Baller STD. Now, let me get it in the light, and I'll showcase this. Okay. This is a Baller STD, but you cannot actually obtain this trimming. This one is like a rolled steel trimming, but you can't buy it. Now, I know my pearlescent is kind of ruining the color. That's the best. I can't. Okay. It's like, there you go. Something like that. It's probably hard to tell, especially with how mine is colored. But let me try to. Come on, work with me. Okay, yeah, look. See that color of the trim? It's a rolled steel or whatever. Now, the wheel arches, I did that on purpose to make it match. But the actual trim, like on the doors, the grill, the front bumper, yeah, that, you can't buy that. Again, because if you look at the one that you could just buy, if you just buy it right now on the website, what you'll find on the Baller STD, it has a black trim. See that? Black trim. And if you buy it off the dealership or if you want it off the wheel, a good percentage, it's not the black trim Baller STD, it's the rolled steel trim Baller STD. Further to prove the point that this is unobtainable, I'm going to show that you cannot buy it. And I'm going to show that it's stock, which means you have to get it from the wheel or you have to buy it in this fashion. Otherwise, you cannot obtain it. You could probably make a cheap knockoff.
What's wrong with her now?
But if you want extra points, you get this version.
Should be running better than ever.
Look, it says right there, stock trim. See? Primary, secondary, carbon, black trim, but it's stock. The other Baller that I bought, that's stock as well, which means one thing. This version is unobtainable unless you buy it or you get it off the wheel, etc. And again, just to elaborate, like I said before, mine, I specifically put the wheel arches like that to match the, the trim. So I did that on purpose. And the closest color I got to try to match the trim is, I believe, rolled steel. That is the closest thing to try to get it to match. See, like, if you look, that's a better match, right? Right on mine. But yeah, and there's many more like this. And I might even just say screw it and go down a whole rabbit hole with a lot of these things. I already kind of did with some of them, but let's see. The Mesa or the Mesa Jeep, I should say. There's a military version in story mode, like a military Jeep, obviously. Essentially, let me show. Essentially, what I'm talking about in story mode and online, there's the Crusader, right? But there's a version in story mode that does not have this little extension on the roof. It has a exposed roof in story mode, and you can get that version by you go to the rampage that Trevor is supposed to do at the military base. That's where you can obtain the roofless Crusader. You just don't start the mission. You take out the NPCs there and you steal the topless Crusader. And that's the story mode version. You might I think that's the only way you can get it. I don't think you can get it online like that. Okay. Another interesting detail is how many people actually give a shit. See, unique. I'm playing. Okay. And look, just to showcase it one more time. Unique wheels. Hell, it looks like even this one might have unique. But I know for a fact, yep, stock wheels. There might be a few where they have unique version or unique coloring to them on some Phoenix models, but I know it's the brown or the copper version. I rarely get that animation. Rare color. And if I'm correct, that Phoenix is actually, that green one is not rare. I believe you can obtain that. Yeah, that's completely obtainable. Unless the pearlescent's different. That blue, though.
Jesus Christ! I believe me!
I wonder if that blue's obtainable. I would imagine. I don't know. That looks pretty nice. I don't think that's obtainable. I don't feel like... If this is obtainable, then wow. This is a pretty nice color. I could probably put this on a car if this is obtainable. But to be honest, I don't think this is a color you can buy. You know what? I think you can. But let's take a look.
What can the best mechanic in LS do for you?
I already know, like, some of this, like, colors is probably, like, nothing to some people, but
100%
some who
guaranteed.
are wondering, who are curious. Okay, here we go. Moment of the truth. I had a feeling. It's ultra blue. Never mind. This is obtainable. Unless... Yeah. Never mind. Never mind. Does this have the unique wheels? No. Okay. Moving on. There's many cars with rare liveries and... Liveries or wraps, whatever you want to call it. But let's look at another unique vehicle, I guess. or unique details. I would elaborate on some of that, but I think there was a time, or maybe in story mode or something, I don't know. But I think some of these vans, I could be wrong, but I don't think you can change the color of some of these vans. Now, I already know there probably would be someone to try to correct that or whatever, but I think with some of these vans, I think the only way to change the color is to either use an Avenger, maybe have the workshop or whatever in Arena War. But if you didn't have either of those options, I don't think you can color these vans, or at least some of these vans. They probably changed that, I'm not sure, but I believe there was a time but that was a thing. This could be a rare pearlescent. Not sure. Let's check to see what's in this garage. I know the title was car details while driving, but sometimes I just gotta go through it. This is not a customizable vehicle unless you have an Avenger, or I think that's it. I think that's literally it. I think this is not customizable in any sense unless you glitch on story mode and if you have a Avenger in online. So, yeah. And this is only obtainable during, obviously, a Thelma and Louise reference, I believe, in the mountains close to the cultist camp, I believe, or cultist area, whatever. The cannibals, I think. But yeah, this is a pretty rare vehicle as well. It also has a funny detail in the Avenger. It might be a lighting or a little bug, but there's a funny detail when you're customizing this in the Avenger. When you go to change the window tint, it blacks out those little chrome bits close to the headlights. You see those things that are like kind of connecting to the headlights, almost like a support or whatever? It would black those out if you change the window tint in the Avenger. Probably just a little visual bug, but it was a funny little thing. And then fun fact, this thing can go on water and it's freaking useless. Yeah. No, it's bad, but at least I guess it goes on water, so I mean that's cool. It's slow as hell, but oh well. This, I believe, okay, yeah. You can only glitch the wheels on. Otherwise, you're not really supposed to be able to change the wheels on this BF injection. That's what this thing's called. But you actually don't get the option to change the wheels, and actually you can tell that it wasn't properly fixed in or whatever, because when you look at the wheels, when you glitch them on, they're actually not fully connected, or they're not. It's not right there. You can see it. See, look. It's not connecting. So they never intended, or they never finished fixing that. Or they probably just... It's funny because you can glitch wheels on it, but you can't put them on. Like, you can't buy them. You can only glitch them on. So, yeah, there's that. And also, this has many options to it. Like, this little antenna is actually, or antenna, this is actually a unbuyable option, or a couple of these things are unbuyable options. Originally, when I glitched this thing, it did not have an antenna. But after I glitched the wheels on it, then it added the antenna. I didn't have that before. So there's also unbuyable options on this vehicle as well. This is this is obtainable from doing the casino missions. It's a weaponized Paragon. Weaponized armored Paragon. Pretty cool. That's it. But I might have some more stuff. I could be wrong, but I don't know if this is just like a little customization thing or not. But when you play some missions where this vehicle is involved in some GTA Online stuff, and maybe even some story mode things, this, what's this thing called? I think this is the Emperor? Yeah. There's some missions, or some online missions, where a particular version of this, and I'll elaborate, you'll see it with lowrider wheels. The reason why I'm talking about that is because I am not sure if that is a unobtainable Emperor 2 variant, or if that is just Rockstar slapping on chrome lowrider wheels and just setting that as a default vehicle for missions. More likely it probably is that, but I swear there's a slight difference, or there's something different about the mission version of this vehicle compared to the street version. I'm gonna say it's probably not actually real. There's probably only one version, and it's this. But it's just a unique detail. Let's move on.
You need something, huh? One of your rides?
I believe there used to be a
Alright,
unique
I'll get back to
detail
work.
with the intruder. Maybe it's still a thing, I'm not sure. But we're gonna check that out. Okay. I believe on old gen there was a thing where I think it may have had a chrome exhaust, or it had this exhaust, or maybe it was like a titanium colored exhaust. But what I'm getting at is, I think, I don't know if it's in, okay, continuing the thought. Okay. I don't know if it is an old gen only, or if this is a patch specific thing, but I think this thing used to have a unique detail where, or not a unique detail, but it had a little funny thing about it with the exhaust, and that's what we're going to find out now. Just wanted to see if there's anything as well in the parking lot. Or
Here
in the
for the
parking
magic
space.
touch.
Okay. I
Better than when
believe
she came in,
on
that's for
old
sure.
gen. Okay. If I'm correct, I think on old gen, the intruder always had titanium colored exhaust, and then when you swapped, it literally made no difference. I think that was the detail, but then again, I'm not sure. But there was a funky detail about the exhaust, I believe. This one's probably a no shit Sherlock thing, but you get a different symbol. It says VX or something when you buy this. So that's a little nice little detail. There's a few vehicles in the game as well where if you change the window tint, it would change something on the lights themselves. Some of them have levels, or like this says light smoke, this is dark smoke, and this is limo. There used to be a really, like a pitch black window type on old gen, but they got rid of it. So there used to be even a darker one than limo, but they got rid of it sadly. Or at least I think they got rid of it. Anyways, yeah, there you go, there you go. But see, some vehicles with the tint having like, okay, it's lighter, darker, darker. Some vehicles would do the same effect on whatever it is that's affecting on the intruder. There you go. It affects the front little lights at the bottom. And this one does not have a stage effect or like a change in color. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't go lighter than darker. It just stays stagnant at a darker color. But some things do. And if I'm correct, I think I could be wrong about this. I think the intruder used to be able to have slight tinted headlights when you would change the the windows, but I could be wrong on that. And it probably had something, but it's been a while. Let's see. In story mode, the adder, also known as the Bugatti Veyron, would spawn right around here in this exact spot. I actually don't mind this change at all, although I do have one problem. This car, the Sentinel XS, there's a unique detail with it across the board. So, the XS, when GTA Online or when GTA first launched, the XS, I believe, was one of few cars with a carbon fiber roof. Okay? Which means anytime you wanted to find an XS or just a regular Sentinel, you would know it's an XS if it had a carbon fiber roof. Now on new gen, that has changed, which I don't mind that, but that's where we come to another thing that they changed on new gen. So again, back then this used to have a stagnant and unchangeable carbon fiber roof, and maybe carbon fiber mirrors, potentially. Anyways, but they changed that on new gen to where now you can color it, which personally I like that. I'm not a fan of stagnant or like unchangeable parts on the car unless it's like it makes sense. What I'm not a fan of now though is after nearly 5-10 years of the game being out, they finally have given this thing more customization options, which changes a few things. Used to, it would kind of, this right here was the original option, but they've changed it. Originally, it did not have the splitters or the little carbon bits on the side. It did not have that originally. And now it's forced to have splitters on every, or on, from this point on, it's, you have to have a splitter. I'm not a fan of that. I actually, and also the custom Sentinel XS's that you would find on new gen that are purple or yellow, they would have this option with no splitter on it. But when the update came out to where you can upgrade this more or can put more customizations on it, for some reason some of them, or at least the purple one, it had this, but when they changed it, when they updated this car to have more customization options, they gave it this type of splitter or bumper extension. whatever. Which I'm not a big fan of. It doesn't really hurt, I guess, but it's like I kind of miss not having the splitters on there. Or my bad, I'm saying splitter. Canards. My bad. I'm saying it completely wrong. See, canards, those little sticking out bits, the little carbon pieces, black bits, that looks like some spikes. Those were not a thing on the original car. So those are stagnant now, which is annoying. And you cannot get rid of those canards. Originally, the purple custom one you would find would be this option, but without the canards. But now you're forced to have the canards unless you go stock or second option, and that's it. And the other thing I'm not a fan of is, what if we wanted the carbon roof back? Well, you don't get that option. So annoyingly, they did two things wrong. One, they made it to where the canards are stagnant and are forced upon the bumper options. That's one wrong decision that they did. And two, what about some people that wanted the carbon roof back? You can't have it back. Other than that, I'm completely fine with the stuff that they did with this car. Does this have a unique thing to it? Oh, this also had another funny thing to it. The exhaust. So as you can see, there's like this weird little... Look by the exhaust tips. And then you look a little further down. You see that weird thing underneath where the diffuser could be at? Well, if you change the exhaust, you see that? So there's like a little funny thing where, and that's been a thing since day one, I believe. You change the exhaust, it gets rid of that weird shit at the bottom. I imagine that's something important, but I don't know. Anyone who understands this reference, they get it. Let's see. But yeah, this was one of few cars that have gotten extra customizations over the years. Well, I say a few, but to be fair, few is not a wrong thing to say, especially given how long it took them to add customizations to a lot of these cars. And some of them weren't even customizations, they just added liveries or wraps to these cars. Some of them literally just got this. That's all they got, which does spice some of them up, but I'm gonna be honest, the original Sentinel XS spoiler, this shit is garbage. I'm sorry. This is terrible. I cannot stand that spoiler. It just does not fit for me. At the auto shop, there's a lot of colors that are unobtainable with the cars that drop off into the auto shop, the customer cars. This color is unobtainable. And if you look at the shine to it, which is probably hard to tell by the video quality, but this shine is not from a classic shine. It's not a matte shine. It's more similar to a metal color shine. This is not buyable at all. And even better is that it has a unique stock wheel color that matches the color of the car. It doesn't show on these wheels because the stock ones are chrome, but if you go to change the wheels, the color of the wheels match the car, kind of like the Phoenix that I showed earlier. This is the exact Sentinel custom I was talking about earlier that you can find on the street in New Gen. This splitter was not the original splitter that the car came with originally. And those canards were never a thing. So not only did they change the splitter, but they stupidly made it to where every other option is stuck with these canards. Now, they did keep this car with the crappy Sentinel XS spoiler. I was not feeling that at all. I had to change that, so that's a change on my part. So this is 98% accurate to this standard one, or this is basically stock, except I changed the spoiler. Couldn't stand it. Anyways, I feel like there was something with this. No, I was going to make a dumbass joke. Anyways, I think whatever you color the car, I think that matches the wheels. Or the wheels match the color of the car, as you can see. I believe I won this or bought this like this. I could be wrong. The only change I've made throughout was the wheels. And that's it. This was free for a little bit. But it's a drift truck, so yeah. The color of this convertible top and the color of the wheels and maybe the pearlescent, all unobtainable. Color of the wheels, unobtainable. Color of the convertible top, unobtainable. And this is also a custom one that you would find driving around or sitting in hood areas or sitting in specific spots throughout the map or whatever. This used to be able to be easily found in story mode on old gen, literally right here, literally in this area in story mode, and even online. If you just literally drove in this spot, you could find this one and a few others sitting there, custom versions of these cars. Mind you, they're not rare themselves. It's the aspects about them that are rare. the color, of the wheels, the color itself. It's already custom from the get-go. So this is not a rare car, but the aspects about it's rare. And used to, you could pick this up on old gen. You can't do that no more. Rest in peace. Now you have to find ways around it to get those cars back. Those were the first custom cars you could, originally, those were the first, like, OG custom cars you could find around the map or find in the game. But the new gen hit, those got deleted. Or if they didn't get deleted, they got changed completely on where you could find them, which sucks. Unless my save is just ass. Fun fact about this thing, the Voltic. This used to be a car. It had a bug on old gen where you could not change the secondary color at all. That was a bug on old gen. And even if that wasn't possibly always a bug, it was a bug at some point in the game. I know that for a fact because on old gen, I remember that being a problem. Funny thing, I think that bug may have even been a thing after the final patch, or whatever happened during the final patch of GTA, or like somewhere around there. Because I think I may have played it without online, and I don't think it had this issue.
You're through to your garage.
Until I updated
need me
the
to bring you a
game,
ride?
and I think that's when the bug occurred. But back then, or at least in one of those patches, or updated version of the game, there was a time where you couldn't change the color of the secondary. So you had to strategically plan out what color of the car you're gonna get, and you're stuck with that color until the new gen rolled around, or if you uninstalled the patches in your game or something like that. So this had a funny little detail like that. We'll end it there, but maybe someone will find something out of that.
I'll bring it by.